Okay, it's recording, I think. Let me roll the window up. Body odor vlog, something. I gotta keep focused because I'm on the road. Let's see if I can get in here. Okay. Gotta roll the window down so some air can come through. So today is a Friday, so thank God it's Friday. I'm on my way to work. Usually there'd be a lot of traffic, but traffic is flowing pretty good. And I realized, like, within Fridays, usually traffic is better than all the other weekdays. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe there's just less trucks on the road, which causes a buildup. I'm not sure. Anyways, it's good that there's less traffic. Yes, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. I wanted to talk about this a long time ago. I wanted to talk about this, like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Last week or 2 weeks ago was like my birthday. And on my birthday, I made it a mission to actually do something. Now, with typical birthdays, you know, most people go to work. I actually asked for a day off. I told my boss, oh yeah, I have appointments. I never specified what the appointments were, but I had appointments, right? So I planned the entire day to look at rental properties. And I think this is going to be one of those vlogs where I'm actually going to do more video editing than I usually do, to show you some of these, like, pictures or videos. I actually never took pictures, but took videos of the different rental properties I went to. And some of them are actually on smartphones, and then I actually use my GoPro, which is what you're viewing, right, or what you're seeing. You're seeing me. You're seeing it through a GoPro, to take some, you know, video footage of what was happening. So I'm just going to discuss certain properties. I was only able to see 4 properties in general. I was planning to see a 5th property, but by the time I was done with the realtor, I was like, I'm tired and just wanted to go home. So I went to like apartments.com, and typically within like I wanted to get an apartment or rental place that's close to my job, because for me at this moment, it usually takes like 50 minutes to an hour to commute. And I'm tired of that bullshit, right? So I'm like, okay, let me now try to find something really close. So I did find, you know, certain apartments around the area, around that zip code that's close, that's in my, I guess, work office or whatever. But their, like, prices are somewhere upwards between like shit, like $1,200 to $1,500 or some shit. And it's like, I don't really want to spend that much. I wanted to spend like $1,000 or something like that on and I would prefer a home. I prefer a home because I just don't want to live on top of people, right next to people, and I hear all these noises of them playing background music or them fucking or something like that. I don't want to hear any fucking goofy sounds while I'm trying to go to sleep, or I'm focused or concentrating on something. I hear like moaning or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to make a long story short, it was very hard to find to rent a house for $1,000. So in any case, on my birthday, I called up several different places. I found at apartments.com I felt was like pretty reasonable. Some was like in the 980s, and I'm gonna discuss one of them. I don't remember the names of those apartment complexes, but I'm gonna discuss them. Some were like in 1,000, some were in the 980s. And oh shit, right? So the one that was in $1,000, I planned to talk to them on like at 3 p.m. But I actually left at 12 p.m. and got there at 1 p.m. And, you know, so when I got there really early, 2 hours early, and I took a look at the place, it looked dirty and dingy, bro. the one that cost like the one where the 1 bedroom. Here's another thing what I learned on that day. I learned the difference between a 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom and a studio, because I felt like I didn't know the difference. I thought to myself, okay, if studios have 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, I don't understand. But no, they don't. It's like this, it's just all in 1 room. a studio is just all one room shit. And I learned it from the next property. So the property I went to, I forgot the name, so I'm just gonna make up the name. I'm gonna call it Dirty Dingy Blue Apartment. Dirty Dingy Blue Apartment Complex. When I got there, like, first impressions are key, right? First impressions are key, right? So when I got there, the first impressions I got from that apartment complex is like, oh, poor people live here. like the gate was just like rusted and just like old. The apartments was covered in some, it had like dark blue, light blue type of color palette, but it's all like, it had like a dingy type of blue next to it. I don't know, it's like all the years of dirt that accumulated on the blue, like it shows, and they never try to clean it. And then when, like, this is one of those apartment complexes where they have like a guard post and they have the security there. So when I told her the situation, I was like, yo, I was supposed to see, I forgot his name. Let's say his name was Michael. Oh, I planned to see Michael to look at some properties at this place. And he's like, oh, okay, it's like 1 o'clock, they're out for lunch. So I pulled up in, she allowed me to pull up into the guard post or whatever, or pull up into like the apartment complex. And I tried to call these guys. I called them like 3 times. They didn't pick up. So then I was like, all right, fuck it. Let me go to another apartment complex I saw that I talked to earlier that week. And this one, should I call the name? I don't give a shit. I think it was called like a Lorica or some shit like that. But this is one of the more expensive apartments where one bedroom run bathroom is like $1,500. And then one studio apartment is like somewhere close to $1,300, is like $1,275 or something like, right? Something like that. And so I drive all the way to Lorica. And compared to dirty, dingy, blue apartment complex to a Lorica, bro, that shit looked like a corporation apartment, like a corporational apartment. Everything looked sleek and new, and you know, it was up on some like a skyscraper buildings and shit. Like, it felt like a fucking corporate building apartment structure shit. It also had like from the pictures, even when you go to apartments.com, you can look at pictures, like even the pictures were high quality, you know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit, right? But I was never able to, I never actually set up an appointment with them. So I thought I could do like a walk-in or something like that, that didn't really come to pass. I tried to call them, and they didn't pick up. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And then the first apartment where I actually had a walkthrough, where I actually had the ability to walk through the apartment, was, I forgot the name of it, but I'm gonna call it the Haitian Prison Complex. The reason why, I'll tell you why. Okay, so I called this apartment complex up and say, oh yeah, we can do a walkthrough or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I drive to that place, and for some reason it took me a long time to figure out where the office was. Because when I'm like driving to like the apartment complexes around the park, like the apartment buildings and shit like that, like it was really hard to determine what apartment complex or what building I'm looking at, because it was like the lettering to what identifies the building is like so small, I couldn't really read it. And then when I finally go into the office, like, you know, they were speaking like Creole or some shit, and I'm like, okay, cool, right? And when I was driving around there, I just saw like tons of like black people, but I could tell that they're Haitian. Like, Haitians have like a certain look to them, but all of them look like really like depressed and sad. They're all outside. They're all outside looking sad as shit. I'm like, god damn. Even like the apartment buildings, there's something weird about the apartment. Oh shit, what the fuck? I hate when they do. I don't know, somebody just cut in front of me, but he had his blinker on, so I'm not really that mad. But like, he cut in front of me like with a quickness, goddamn. Anyways, so Haitian prison complex, even like the apartment complex, like the previous or the first apartment complex was like a dirty, dingy blue, where it had like light blue and dark blue as a color palette. This apartment complex had like a dirty, dingy dirty, dingy pink and brown as its color palettes, like a doo-doo brown as its color palettes, bro. And when I started like trying to find the office, and so I was going around, like circling around the apartment buildings, like some of the apartments, like, or the wall paint was like stripped, so like it's not even like, so there's like stripped paint on the walls. And when I finally got into office and they allowed me to look at a studio, and this is one of the apartments that was like the studio and the studio was like $980 a month, and the 1 bedroom 1 bathroom was $1,000 a month. But the thing is, for the 1 bedroom 1 bathroom, you have to be on a waiting list or some shit, and it's already like, and they said like the waiting list would be like 2 months or some crap like that. But when I finally was able to be, you know, shown the studio apartment, bro, that shit is small as shit. Hopefully I'm showing the video of, because I took a video of it, of the studio apartment. That whole motherfucker was like just one small ass room. Fuck that shit. One small ass room. Like the room I'm in, like at my house, felt bigger than that shit. The apartment, the appliances, like the stove and the microwave looked like it was made in the 1970s. And shit, I was like, what the fuck? This, and like the air trapped into the apartment complex. The air smelled old. The air smelled old and dank. It smelled old air, dank. Dank old air or some shit. It was just like, everything just felt old and dingy. Even when you go, like, you went into like the apartment, you went into like the elevator and shit like that. The elevator had like a doo-doo brown color and the paint was stripped. Everything just smelled like old medieval dank air or some shit. I don't even know what medieval dank air is, but if medieval dank air was a thing, it just smelled like old wood and trapped old air. And even when I saw like the first, you know, I saw finally got able to see the 1 bedroom 1 bathroom, it was sort of like whack. I mean, it looked better than the one studio apartment. Hopefully I'm showing it up. But at the same time, it still felt old, and there was a waiting list. But overall, it was better, right? It was the first time I saw the differences between studio and 1 bedroom 1 bathroom. But nonetheless, when I went out on the balcony, because they had a balcony, this is like on the top floor, right? Like, the balcony was just covered in bird shit. They didn't even try to like clean up the bird shit laid balcony. And I'm not saying there's one splotch here, one splotch here. I don't think I caught it on camera. That shit was layered. It seemed like there was 3 layers of bird shit that accumulated over the course of decades. And they didn't even try to clean the shit. And after I saw that shit, I was like, okay, I think I've seen enough, right? But that was like one apartment. So the second time, or when I scheduled an appointment with a realtor, and he showed me 3 different properties, and these are like the 3 other properties I saw. And the other one was, or the first one I saw was like one of the best ones. At least to me, because when I saw the first one, I finally had the ability to do a walkthrough of an apartment, like that apartment complex, the Haitian prison apartment complex sort of threw me off and made me feel like, damn, these are what apartments cost, and this shit was like $1,000, and it cost $1,000 to be on a balcony with bird shit all over. I don't know if I really like this shit, right? But when I saw the other apartment, or the second apartment, the first apartment by the realtor, it changed my whole perspective, because the first one was a condo. This one cost $1,230, and it was 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, but it had like 2 different it had like 2 different toilets, and it was spacious. And I didn't show the outside, but it was like in some type of, they had like foliage, and right next to this like condo, there's actually a Whole Foods and also a LA Fitness. So I'm like, oh shit, this is dope. And at the same time, this was 4 minutes away from my work location. So it takes me a lot of time to work here. It takes me a lot of time to commute, like 50 minutes to an hour. But now it only takes me 4 minutes. So I'm like, oh shit, this is great. Hopefully I'm showing the pictures and videos about this, or the video footage of how it looks like. So I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome, right? The second property showed me, there was like a house, but it was like connected houses. Like, it was like this one house that was like connected with 3 different rooms, but these rooms are different, like apartments. Like, how to explain? It's like, I don't even call it a big house. It's just like a regular house, right? But they're 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, and they're like composed of like 3 different parts of 1 bedroom or 1 bathroom, if that makes sense. But the thing about it was, I took some footage about it, so hopefully I'm showing that. But the thing about that one is that it seemed like it was occupied, because when I actually went there, there's already furniture set up. There's already furniture within the room. So we were both confused. We were thinking to ourselves, okay, maybe, or he was like, oh, I think this one's already been taken by now. So I was like, okay, that was interesting. And I guess that one looked sort of cool, but at the same time, they were like, oh yeah, you had a backyard. But there's barely any backyard. I didn't take any footage of the backyard. There's barely any backyard at all. And also, you're like sharing this house. You're not sharing it, but it's like you're connected with another room with other participants or other occupants. And it was just weird. So I wasn't really that. I thought it was okay, but I was like, oh my god, this is the best. Oh my god, I really need this one, as I did with the first one. So the last one I saw was also in an apartment complex, and this apartment complex felt like very industrial. It was in I didn't take footage of it, but it was like I did take footage of like the rooms and shit, but it was like coated in this like dark gray paint. And when you get into like the entrance, it's in this like red gateway where you have to push in a passcode key or some crap like that, and it's like, ugh, right? In addition to that, it was like, while I was driving to find that third place, I drove past like a high school and a middle school, and I don't know about you, but I hate living near high schools or schools in general, because once it hits like 2:30 or some shit like that, or school gets out, or school's about to get in, there's just a heavy flow of traffic, and I don't want to be around that type of shit. So that didn't really, I don't know, win me over. In addition to that, like, even in summertime, that's probably going to be a thing too, within high schools or middle schools. So there was 2 of them. There's a high school and a middle school. Now there was a Walmart nearby, but I'm like, high school and middle school, I don't know about that shit, right? But when I finally was able to get up to the apartment, it looked beautiful. It looked really good. It was comparable in terms of like, at least to me. And I haven't seen a lot of apartments. I only saw like these several little rental properties. But this looked great when you compare it even to the first one. I don't know, they had like, there was like tons of upgrades to the apartment complex. And I don't know, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was just really spacious. The balcony wasn't covered in bird shit, so that was good. But the property price was like $1320. So that was an issue, and this was on the 3rd floor, so that was also an issue to me, because within my typical routine, I didn't think about it at the time, but when I started really thinking about the rental properties, I started to realize, like, okay, this is like $1,320. So this is like $90 more than the first rental property I saw for the realtor. And at the same time, it's 3 feet higher. So I usually exercise in the morning, and when I exercise, sometimes I use my bike. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I have a bike and I'm on the 3rd floor, that means I would have to every day wake up, get my bike, go down the stairs, or go down like the elevator, and then ride my bike. And then once I'm done riding back to my apartment complex, I would have to go back to the elevator and ride back up and and do all that other type of shit. But the condo, it was on the 1st floor, so I didn't have to even worry about that type of crap. So I was like, But the realtor was trying to like pressure me to get the 3rd one, or to get the industrial, I'll call it the industrial apartment complex, because you didn't have to pay with the apartment complex that cost $1,230. You had to put a security deposit of $1,230, and then you had to put 2 down payments of like $24.98, and then you had to have an application fee and all this other type of shit. But with like the industrial complex, all you had to spend in total was like $1,800, and maybe at best within a week I would be able to actually live in that apartment. Whereas for the condo, it probably take 2 to 3 weeks to get in the apartment, right? So that was an issue. And he was really trying to like sell me on this like industrial complex shit. But the thing is, the reason why I didn't like it, the industrial complex apartment was like, it was 3 stories and it was more expensive, and the commute was like 10 minutes away. Now people say that's not a big deal, but when I actually looked into like the Google Maps, because like with Google Maps, there is this ability where you can check like the rush hours of the day of how long it's going to take you. So okay, you can check how long it's going to take you today at this current time, but then you could look into the past and see, okay, what is the typical rush hours when you go at 5:30, because that's when I typically leave work. So when I left work at 5, what the fuck? I really fucking hate this shit. There's this guy who just pulled in front. Man, I fucking hate that stupid shit. What was it talking about? So what was it saying? Yeah, so basically what I was trying to say is, when I looked into the rush hour of when I typically leave, it actually takes like 12 to 20 minutes to finally get back to my apartment complex or the industrial complex, as opposed to like the condo, it only takes me like 3 to 7 minutes or some shit like that. So I was like, you know what? And even though it's gonna take me longer, to rent the condo, I'm still saving more money. I'm still saving more money with we're only paying like $1,230 or some shit like that. So I was like, okay, right? So overall, I decided to use the condo because I thought the condo was just better. Okay. So I had to pay the application fee and all this other stuff. So I already spent like $1,300 or something like that, somewhere close to like $1,400, just to do the application fee and the security deposit, and then I had to pay like the remaining $2,400 maybe 25. It's probably like 2,500 in total to do the first month and then next month or whatever the fuck it's called. So yeah, I decided to do that, and it was a very tough decision because I didn't want to spend around like $3,000 to $4,000 on just one thing. It sort of, like financially, it made complete sense to get the industrial apartment complex, but I don't know. There was something about the fact that the condo was next to a Whole Foods and a LA Fitness, and I don't know, the look of the condo, like outside where there was just more foliage and shit, it just felt better. It like the industrial complex didn't have like trees and shit. It just was like just barren concrete and stuff, whereas like the condo, it had like trees and palm trees, and I don't know, just like the outside looked good, the inside looked good, it was cheaper overall. I don't know, it did something to me. It made me think and it was close to the exit, which is good to me because I hate like passing by people. I hate being like all the way in the middle and have to pass by so many different doors. Like this door was like really close to the entrance. So if I wanted to like bike, it wouldn't take me a long time to just get up and just leave. Like I can get up and go really quick. So that's also the thing that sold me. Now maybe I might be kicking myself in the end because, you know, me spending like, again, just for the application fee, what's it called? The security deposit and the first and second month's rent or all that other type of crap. I might be kicking myself, but I don't know. I just wanted to share that because I had some footage and I was like, I don't want this footage to go to waste. In addition to that, it'd be pretty cool if I find, I think I might get the condo on March 1st. So I might be able to move in March 1st, but at the same time, I don't have any like furniture I can't sleep on. I'm not gonna sleep on just like the ground. I have to get like a bed or some shit, right? So now I'm trying to think, how am I gonna do this? How am I going to get a bed and be able to sleep on the, you know, see here, get in here, cool. Man, yeah, I'm thinking about how am I going to get all this furniture in and whatever. How much is that going to cost to do all that stuff? So that's an issue as well. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because I had some footage, and I don't know how long I talked for this shit, but you know, that's gonna be the vlog for now. I'm gonna hit it right here, bro.